We started our early morning by waking up at 2:30 and getting to the airport by 4. Our first stop was over at Southwest where we waited a long 45 minutes to check our bags in, but once we got through there we made it through security and over to our gate where we ran into Kinley and Gracie who were on their way to Colorado to see their grandparents. Although the girls hang out all the time, they had all been excited for weeks to see each other at the airport. We then sat around and waited for the first leg of our trip, a 6:30 flight to Austin, Texas.
Me and Janelle were definitely very tired from waking up at 2 a.m., but we were also very excited to go to Vegas.
After landing in Austin, we were fortunate to be able to stay on the plane where we had about 20 minutes to move seats, use the restroom, and maybe even get a little sneak peek into the cockpit of the airplane. We then loaded up new passengers and were on our way to Las Vegas.
I was really excited to go to Las Vegas and see Simon and Tam. It was really cool sitting in the second row because you got to see what the flight attendants were doing and how they got their seat down and buckled up, and I really liked that. It was really cool.
Another stroke of luck we had was flying over the Grand Canyon. It had originally been part of our trip, but we had to scrap it when we realized it would take an entire day to travel there and back from Las Vegas. I was glad we got to see it, the Colorado River, and even Lake Mead as we flew by the Hoover Dam.
The Grand Canyon and the Hoover Dam were so pretty, and it was so cool when we landed because we got to see the whole strip and the buildings.
After landing at the airport and seeing the Las Vegas Strip for the first time, we then took a shuttle to see if we could check in early at our hotel. We could, but for a fee, so instead we went exploring on the city's monorail system. The monorail really runs behind the main resorts of the strips, with stops along the way. We got our first look at the Sphere experience in Las Vegas and a look at how many resorts are near the strip. It was about 108 degrees outside when we landed and thought the monorail was a good way to see the resorts and beat the heat at the same time.
The monorail was really nice. We ended up taking it quite a few times while we were in Vegas. It was really nice, air conditioning, and a great way to get around.
We made a stop at the MGM Grand where we ended up spending more time than intended. Inside MGM Grand is the Television City Research Center where we got a chance to watch and review a pilot episode of an upcoming show. It was a nice way to beat the heat and the show was good. We'll let you know what it was if it ever comes out. And after a few more trips on the monorail, we actually made our way back to the MGM Grand where we had some frozen yogurt at Blizz.
The frozen yogurt was so good, but the only down part was some ice cream handles were not there and you couldn't have any of that ice cream. The toppings were amazing, and then we went over to this cool looking dragon.
Around 3 o'clock, it was time for us to go check in at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino. Now, this resort is located perfectly on the Las Vegas Strip and is right in the heart of everything. It is an older resort that doesn't have the freshness of the newer resorts, and it definitely shows its age in places, but it does have a great location and outdoor amenities. As previously pictured, the adult pool was always packed and full of great music. In addition, the outdoor aviary is full of flamingos, ducks, turtles, and koi fish. It is very picturesque.
I was not expecting to see how many flamingos I saw, but since it was so hot, and the family pool was like smaller than I thought, and there was so many people in there, and it was just like crazy packed. We never got to go swimming though.
We originally checked into our room on the 18th floor that overlooked the Las Vegas Strip. Now, I say originally because there was an overwhelming issue, and it is part of the age issue the Flamingo has. Although it was 110 degrees outside, the air conditioning wasn't blowing enough cold air to cool down the room. After 2 nights of sweating, we ended up switching rooms to a different room on the 22nd floor. It didn't have the same view of the strip that we originally had, and instead we got to view the Sphere, the High Roller, and the inside courtyard. It was a disappointment, and the resort solution was to close the blinds even though I paid more for the view of the strip. They didn't seem to care and really played it like I was just making it up. Eventually, Simon and Tam arrived and we got to start the vacation that we've been planning for months. And after walking around the strip for a little bit and saying our hellos, we made our way over to the magician, Piff the Magic Dragon.
Piff the Magic Dragon was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really cool. I think everyone else loved it besides Janelle. She just told us that she was just there for the dog. But I think everyone liked the dog, and I thought he was really funny. I would definitely recommend it. Some of the magic tricks were really cool, but some of the other ones are very simple, but I still wonder how he did most of them. Especially this watch one, which was quite hilarious.
What's inside the sock, Jordy? What's inside the sock? What's inside the sock, Jordy? What's inside the sock? Reach inside the sock, Jordy. The target shit up magic! Now, Jordy, Mr. Pebbles, is that you?
And as Piff the Magic Dragon ended, we realized we'd been up for 20 straight hours, and it was the end of day one in Las Vegas for us. Day 2 started with a run to Starbucks for coffee and to McDonald's for some breakfast, and then we made over to the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace for some necessary shopping here in Las Vegas, and we had some big plans for this evening.
I was so excited to see Simon and Tam and have a full day with them. We definitely did a lot of shopping that day, but it was fun. We went to Sephora, we got some makeup supplies, and then we picked out some jewelry to match each other. We all got a butterfly, me, and Tam got anklets, and Jasmine got a ring.
With the first of many shopping sprees over for today, we made our way out of the resort and picked up a rental car for our next adventure. But first, we had the pleasure of introducing Simon and Tam to Chick-fil-A.
I was very surprised that they never had Chick-fil-A before when they visit Florida or something, but I'm glad they liked it.
After the pleasure of introducing them to Chick-fil-A, we went on our bucket list adventure to see the Milky Way galaxy. We started our 2.5-hour drive that would also take us through Death Valley into the Mesquite Flats sand dune. I'd like to thank the YouTube channel Adventure Every Day for their footage, because this is what it actually looked like for us as we were driving there throughout the night. Just darkness everywhere. So this is honestly the best footage I could get, so I'd like to thank them for their video footage of roughly the same trip. I can't guarantee this is the exact same route that we took, because again, it was dark for us, I couldn't see it. But this is what it would have looked like in the day. For instance, here's what this shot looks like for them, and here's what it looked like for us. The reason we were taking this trip was because I've always wanted to see the Milky Way galaxy live, and it is something I've never experienced, and I knew we were close enough to the desert that maybe, just maybe if we were lucky enough, we could get out there and we could see it. The 2.5-hour drive really wasn't that bad other than the darkness, and eventually we made it to Death Valley National Park. From here, we noticed the temperature started to go up, and it eventually capped out at 110 at night. But once we made it to the dunes, it was all about the stars, and I'm going to let the pictures speak for themselves.
The stars were so amazing. I loved it. When you laid down, you could see so many shooting stars. I at least saw 5 shooting stars. It was really cool. And it just was the galaxy. And it was really cool how you could just see Las Vegas because the light is so bright and big over there.
I was not anticipating the stars to look like that. Honestly, on the drive there, I fell asleep, so I didn't really know. And the second I stepped out, it felt so fake. It felt like I could just touch them, which was really cool. And there were so many stars to look at, and when you laid down on the ground, it was really gorgeous. I at least saw 3 shooting stars.
So then Tam did like a photo shoot of me and Jasmine and my dad and everybody. And me and Jasmine were being middle schoolers and not kind of doing what we asked. But it was so cool because everything was dark and the stars were just like shining on you. And they were really cool pictures. They came out really well though.
Honestly, I don't like taking photos, but these photos were actually really pretty, and just the way they came out because the way the stars were shining down on you.
And I know nobody said it, but I know we were all thinking how much Lisa would have truly enjoyed this moment. She would have been scared of the dark, but she would have loved every minute of it. After checking out the stars, we made our way back to Las Vegas, and the city was still bright and alive and kicking. And it is 3 o'clock in the morning as we come rolling in. And I didn't get any footage inside the casinos, but the casinos were still packed. But I know for us, we were weary travelers that had been in the car over 5 hours after spending, I don't know, about an hour and a half, 2 hours just staring up the stars. But for us, the day 2 here in Las Vegas / Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes was coming to an end, but I was just amazed how lit up the city still was.
It was insane how pretty Vegas was at night. There were so many lights going on. I loved it. It was amazing.
Day 3 started with the Italian Air Force precision team flying over the Las Vegas Strip, leaving a trail of the old white, green, and red smoke. The girls weren't able to take a picture of the planes, but did get the smoke. We then went over to Maryland's Cafe at the Tuscany Suites Casino for a fantastic breakfast, and made our way then over to the Nike factory outlets where we were forced to buy new shoes.
So those ones are my new shoes. Those are Janelle's, aka the Dunkin' Donut shoes. And then my dad got metastatic breast cancer shoes, and he just thought it was a sign, so he got them.
One nice thing about having your own transportation around Las Vegas was we actually stumbled into the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada sign. We were just coming back from the Nike stores and Simon happened to mention it was right down the road. So we stopped by, avoided the main line by just stepping over to the right side of the line that people had formed for no strange reason, and got a whole bunch of pictures ourselves. It's slightly off-centered, but we didn't have to wait outside in 110-degree temperature just to take a picture of a sign. We then made our way down more of the Las Vegas Strip, seeing some of the resorts from the outside because the only way we had seen them up to this point was from the monorail, which actually went behind most of the resorts. So it was our first time actually going down the Strip. Next up was a surprise stop at the Stranger Things official merchandise store in Las Vegas. I had seen it while searching online for what to do around Las Vegas, and I know that Janelle and Jasmine and even Tam have become big fans of Stranger Things, so we knew we had to stop by.
So this was a surprise for me, and when I walked in and saw the Stranger Things sign, I freaked out. It was so cool and it was so amazing. It was like a lifetime in there. And even we did a past video where we tried the ice cream, and there was 2 flavors of the ice cream, and both of them were my favorite, but the favorite one we got was the chocolate one. It's filled with chocolate, and those can actually come off, and I thought that was really cool. So you could say something, and everything's there. I just loved it. It was like my house.
This was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. The detailing in there was just spot on. The Star Court, Vecna's house, everything was on point. They even had statues of some of the characters which were on point. The merchandise was amazing. There's the ice cream Janelle was talking about, and there's a video where we all tried ice cream with our friends, and everything in there was just so amazing. I would definitely go back and probably buy almost everything in there because everything was really cool. The only downside was that almost every shirt was cotton, which kind of sucked, but hey, it's fine. It was really cool.
And I think every 10 to 20 minutes, Vecnum went off and everything went pitch black, making sounds. It was so cool. This is the basketball area. I loved it. It was so cool. There was so much stuff you could look at. Everything was detailed. I loved that photo because I'm the lifeguard of Billy, I think. Yeah. And there's an arcade, and actually you can play the arcade for free, but if you got something, you would have to pay for it, which kind of sucked, but it's a store. Kind of have to pay for everything. But yeah, like Jasmine said, everything's cotton. Florida, you can't really have anything cotton here because you'll just get hot. But everything, there was Funko Pops, there was hats, bracelets, games, everything you could imagine. It was really cool. I had a good time there.
This part was funny because we were trying to get that, but it kept changing every time we tried to record, so it took us a few tries, but we eventually got it, and we would definitely go back to the Stranger Things store.
After Stranger Things, we continued our trip further down the Las Vegas Strip and being able to see some of the additional resorts that we hadn't had a chance to see from the outside just yet. And I think at this point, this is where I really determined how big the Strip really is, because we had been transporting behind it and just going small distances, but to actually drive the whole thing and to see how large all these resorts are was just amazing. I know we live in touristy world, but Vegas is something different. We went back to the resort where the girls decided it was time to give Tam a makeover, and then we headed over to Beer Park to grab some lunch. And this place, first of all, it was really hot outside, but the views you cannot beat because you are right across from the Bellagio.
So I didn't think I would like this place because it didn't sound the best, and it was just really hot. I was not in the mood. But there was games, and the water was okay. It was really nice how they had like those like water things, and we got to see the fountains, but we couldn't hear the like the sound to the water because there was music playing, because our music at the restaurant was like blasting loud. But we got some cool clips of it. It was really enjoyable, and what was really cool, it sounded like a firework when it went off, but it really wasn't. They did mess up my sandwich, so I didn't like that. They added tomatoes and like avocado, and I didn't want that. But it's okay, they remade it, and it was really well.
The food there was really good. I would definitely eat there again. Everything was amazing about that place. I loved the view and everything. I would definitely go back.
I'm also glad we did this because this would end up being the best view of the Bellagio fountains we would get. We did have a plan to go at night and kind of do the Ocean's 11 finish, but due to different circumstances and different events that we ended up doing, we weren't able to make it. So I'm really glad we had this chance right here. After dinner and a failed Uber attempt, the girls and I made our way over to the Jabberwockies. And if you know anything about the Jabberwockies, this would have been Lisa's show. So Lisa, this show is for you.
Warning.
Watching open going round that. Tell me when they put your shine. Now give the ones that go to work by day then dance in the mirror. I needed some with some violence. Whip with that blunt in my mouth, watch this work. I was locked on the cannon, that I didn't try to read the mind, just to open can't do, there is necessary. Bob is the game on, go play a rock star, get the show
Jupiter and Mars. The words. Castle down east side. But just a feeling.
Oh, get it, Ellie, get it.
Come up to the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky.
You know, something I've been telling Janelle is don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And I think that's what the Jabberwockies did for me, is a very hip-hop bebop show, brought all kinds of emotions because of how much I know Lisa loved them. Meanwhile, while we were at the Jabberwockies, the Udens were being super sophisticated and headed out to a jazz club. And that brought day number 3 to a close, and we transitioned into day 4 in Vegas.
This was our last full day in Las Vegas, and we all got separate things for like lunch and breakfast. Then we went over to escape room. This was Simon's first time, and there on the bottom you can see how difficult they were. We did the special ops, and then there's a little shop. We still had to wait for a little bit because we got there a little bit late, but it's okay. And we were just waiting there and waiting.
This escape room was cool and different at the same time. It was definitely one of the harder ones, and we ended up splitting up in groups. So me and Simon were working together, and then my dad and Janelle were working together, and we were all working together to stop a nuke from going off. We ended up completing the game, which we were really excited with 10 minutes left. We took photos, pictures. We were very happy that we completed our escape room. We escaped. Let's go.
So the thing that Jasmine was just holding, that was really heavy. I didn't think it was going to be that heavy, but it was pretty heavy.
So Simon, how was your first escape room?
I was tremendous.
Well, and that's all, folks. You heard it here. Nothing more, nothing less.
I was tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you do that in real life.
He's a spy.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with all this tactical training that I have, I felt like I was well prepared.
I mean, you made the king proud.
As we should.
Yeah.
Is he still standing?
He's better than ours. After escaping, we made our way over to the Venetian, which was one that we hadn't stepped foot in just yet. And I think at this point we had started to figure out that everything's kind of the same for some of these resorts, where it's basically like going to the Mall of Millennia here in Florida just over and over and over again. They did have some gondolas, which was kind of neat, but I think the shopping excursion part had started to wear on the girls. However, they did tell me afterwards that one of their favorite things was going to the different resorts and seeing them. So I think it still was paying off. At this point, Simon and Tammin had to move over to different resorts. We helped them move, and we got ready for what was going to be our last adventure here on the 4th of July, and that was heading to a Las Vegas Aces game.
My favorite team is Las Vegas Aces, so I was very excited to go. It was very loud, and I wasn't expecting that many people, but there was a lot of people, and I was very happy to see that a lot of people actually care about WNBA. the team they were going against was good in the beginning, but they ended up losing by, I think it was 20 or 15 points. So it was kind of a, what's it called, blowout.
So the Aces aren't my favorite team, but you know, I still cheered for them. And we are actually going to see the Washington literally in like a day. So I think that's really cool. It was really loud, and I was not expecting that at all.
So the game was a bit of a blowout, but one nice thing that they do is they have a promotion called Miss Twice, Get a Slice. And if the opposing team misses 2 free throws at any point throughout the game, then everybody gets a free slice of pizza. So after we stuck around and got some pictures, we went and got a pizza. What you waiting in line for?
Pizza.
What are you waiting in line for?
Victory pizza. Smells like winning.
What are you waiting in line for?
Pizza.
Pizza. Hey Nelly, what you got now? Pizza!
I don't like pizza.
Maybe they just see my face and they must say, when he looks in the mirror, he must be quite disappointed in the morning.
Well, it's too bad, because that's what we're having is pizza. After the game, we weren't able to make it to any of the fireworks in time because the game ended just about as the fireworks were finishing up. So we decided to finish and see the rest of the resorts that we hadn't had a chance to go to, including the Bellagio, New York, Excalibur. So we took multiple forms of transportation just around to see those, and eventually we made our way over to the Bellagio, which was super awesome. We tried to make it in front of the fountains, but it was 4th of July and it was incredibly packed both with people and with performers, so we couldn't make it over there very well. We did see this pseudo drone show over the Sphere that was just a sort of a nice way to end the 4th of July and really end our trip in Las Vegas because we were headed home the very next day. So day 5, we grabbed a cab earlier in the morning, made our way over to the Las Vegas airport with one final look at the Strip, boarded our plane to Dallas after getting some Jamba Juice. We headed to Dallas, grabbed some lunch there, and then we made our final flight back to Orlando, arriving around 9:30 at night. So we'd spent about 12 total hours, but in the end, Vegas won because we were exhausted by the time we got home.
Hey, it is Simon
and Tam,
and we are just coming to add a little bit to the trip report at the end with some of the highlights from our side. So obviously just like so cool to spend time with Janelle, Jasmine, Chris. Like, we just love you guys so much, and we're so excited to get to spend a bunch of time with you all. So highlights for me, I think honestly probably sleeping in 78 degrees. That's my dream. Okay, no, maybe not. I actually wouldn't mind sleeping 78 degrees, but their room was toasty. I'm glad that the Browns moved, but I know the hotel probably didn't take it as seriously as they should. But that aside, my highlight, I think I'm blessed. I've been to Vegas a number of times, and something I've never done is gone out and see the stars before, and we were kind of lucky. Like, we can get out fairly easily here in Vancouver and get out into the wilderness, but you don't do it that often. But to see Chris have a bucket list moment, super cool for me, and even I think we all enjoyed it a lot, and so to see something kind of so unique and so cool, so that was definitely a highlight for me. Tam?
Absolutely, the stars were so cool. But I would say my highlight was the escape room. I know you can do escape rooms like anywhere, but being able to do it all together and just problem solving and having fun and having minor jump scares when things would open, just had such such a good time with everybody. And I was just saying to Simon, one of my favorite moments was when we were in the like underground bunker and all collaborating and having to share clues and stuff. That was just really great. Great teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Honestly though, like Vegas is cool, ton of fun, great shows, great entertainment, but for me, like always the most special thing is time with our friends. That is the highlight for me and will always be the highlight for me.
So I guess it's just about planning the next adventure.
Yes, time for more. We gotta plan the next one.
Yeah, when's the next one?
When's the next one? You know, because we can be sad that this one is over, or we can be happy that we had this time together and look forward to the next adventures.
Exactly.
Mwah! We love you all. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Like and subscribe. Smash that like button. And we can't wait for the next adventures. Browns, we love you all.
Love you.